Good morning, everyone. It's Mary Agnew with the Sacred Threshold. It is Sunday, October 27th, 2024. It is time for our gathering this week and our energy uh, reading. I don't know, I just felt drawn to pick up these couple of freshwater pearls that I have sitting here on my altar and just have them with me. So that's what I'm kind of playing with here. So, I'm wondering how everyone is doing this week. We are in some tumultuous times, as we all know, and we just got to do the best we can do every day to stay centered and to stay in joy, and most importantly, to stay in love. We can react to fear, we can react with fear, or we can react with love. Big ask, absolutely a big ask in times like now, but we're going to work on that today. And I have to tell you, you know, have you guys noticed that sometimes the same message, the same phrase, the same symbolism will pop up repeatedly in your life in a short amount of time? So just since yesterday, actually since Friday, I have had the word ceremony show up in various ways. Two different podcasts, two different friends that I talked to in good morning, Jennifer, good to see you, and in a church service that I attended this morning. And so, it's time to talk about ceremony. We don't often talk about that in our gatherings here. Ceremony has been part of the human experience since the very beginning of time. I mean, there are multitudes of Stone Age um, camps and burial grounds that they have found that show that from the beginning of time, ceremony has been important to the human race. It gives us a container to hold things in. It is just relationship with each other, relationship with our community, relationship with the world. So, how does one go about ceremony? It is lovely to get a group together, even if you're just a group of women getting together to have a discussion, or like Jennifer here that's on. I know Jennifer teaches a lot online. Zentangle, check her out. Lotus Blossom is her business. It is amazing. She does beautiful work. Um, but I would bet that, Jennifer, when you're teaching and you gather these women together, that it changes the energy. It changes the energy from where you were before, and you feel that communion. You feel that community. That is a big part of ceremony and how and why it is so important to us. We as humans, we are social beings. Even if you're an introvert, you're still a social being. And being able to send out and connect with those energetic, vibrational strands from another person really helps us to continue to feel that connection. And it's the same as like when I talk to you guys often about getting outside, getting your feet on the earth. We also establish those strands of connection with the earth. So I want to go ahead and, I'm going to do things backwards today because I am just so drawn by the concept of ceremony that I want to invite you guys to come sit around the fire with me. Now, granted, we're all over the world here, but I'm going to invite you to just gaze upon this flame. We're going to just do things differently. So I want you to just watch the flame and take some deep breaths, hand on your heart, Hand on your heart, hand on your heart. That simple act of placing your palm upon your heart begins the process of opening into love. And watching this flame, allowing your gaze to go soft as you watch it move gently and yet steady. And watch the colors change, dropping deeper and deeper into sacred communion, feeling your soul respond to this call of the fire. Our ancestors have sat around fire in sacred communion for tens of thousands of years, and it is still a place, a sacred place for us. Deep breath, feeling that communion, and feeling the light of this flame begin to fill your soul, your heart, your belly. And imagine this flame inside of you, steady, firm, tall, as your soul energy rises. And bring your sorrows to this flame. Bring the disappointments of this week, the doubts, the fears. Bring it to the flame and imagine, or even use your hand to blow whatever that fear, that guilt, that anxiety, blow it into your hand and bring it to the flame. Release it into the flame and release it into the flame. And you can do that as many times as you need to. Release and hand into the flame. And you bring that flame to you. You bring that flame into your throat, into your heart, into your belly, bringing that flame over your head, almost bathing, showering, washing yourself with this flame, and you feel the difference. Take some moments and feel the difference in yourself. Now taking that change, that love, that freedom of release, and extend it out to your neighbors, your community, to your home, to even those that you disagree with, extending the flame of connection. We are one. Another deep breath. Sending this feeling of oneness out to our nation, to our world, to our universe, to every living being, from the tiniest creepy crawly, the smallest plant, to the biggest star, moon, sun, and feel that connection, weaving that connection as we all sit around this flame, as we all sit around the fire that has called us to be together and to remember, to come together again, to remember our oneness and the joy that that can bring. Beautiful. And now, with a great deal of gratitude, we say thank you, thank you, thank you to the fire for accepting our fears, guilt, whatever you might have put into the fire, and also to thank that fire for being able to bring that light into us. And thank you to each other, to everyone who is joining now or will join later. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is the power of ceremony. That is the power of communion. So let's go ahead and now draw our card for this week. And I gotta say, I want to put this card down because this card makes me uncomfortable, but I'm not going to because it is the energy that we are in right now. Now, how many of you can relate to this? See that little figure? How many of us feel that tension right now? Oh, so much going on in the world. So much. But take a look at these clouds. In this particular deck of cards, the Osho Zen deck, the clouds represent the conscious mind. And that is what this is all. All of this tension that we're feeling is conscious mind. It is not nature. It is not. And so remembering this week, if you feel between a rock and a hard place, like you got to, how am I going to hold on much longer? And I know from talking to clients and friends this week that a lot of us are feeling this amount of tension. Remember that simple act of ceremony. And even if you are by yourself, you can light this candle. You can sit by this metaphorical fire. You can take whatever that tension is and put it into the flame, and then you've emptied a part of your body. We need to fill that void, and if we don't fill it with intention, it will be filled with something. So why not fill it with intention? And that is going into that flame and literally bringing that light into our bodies. So remember that this week and the coming weeks to come. If you find yourself in this position, feeling that level of tension and anxiety and what am I going to do, bring yourself to the fire. Bring yourself to ceremony. Gather at that fire. And you might just find a complete shift in your outlook. So there we go, my dears. Thank you all so much for gathering around the fire with me, for being in sacred ceremony with me. And you know, you can also, like I said, you could absolutely do this by yourself, or you can call up a friend and say, hey, let's sit by the fire together. You don't even have to be on visual. You can just call each other and say, go light a candle. Let's sit for 5 minutes together at this fire. Let's bring the ceremony back into our lives. All right, my dears. So, Mary Agnew with the Sacred Threshold. If you'd like to explore things further with me, I can't even talk now because I'm in that woo-woo, woozy, lovely feeling post-ceremony, thesacredthreshold.com, and I will see you next Sunday around the fire. Thank you all. Bye now.